Okay, I am a member here at St. Paul's. I am a member of the LGBTQ community. At the church here, I currently am the coordinator of the Loaves and Fishes Food Bank here in eastern Snyder County. In the church, I am back on church council and vice president this year. I was the one that came up with the idea for us to help out the Habitat project in our area, so I'm kind of the coordinator for that also. I also attend PFLAG meetings originating in Danville and going through COVID, which started us on online, and eventually wanting to start a group here in Selinsgrove. We thought that since online at Danville was going well, we would attempt it here, and our first meeting was last September, and we've been doing well and going forward since that. Also, our church on the ONA, I participate in those meetings, groups, etc., and support them also.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. Just trying to think, did I get everything? I think that's a fair shot.
And Randy Tanner, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you're part of the LGBT community. You're a gay man?
Yes.
Okay. He, him?
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me about how long you've been a part of the church here.
I'm going to say about 8-9 years. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. What brought you to St. Paul's?
Well, I had been attending St. John's UCC in Lewisburg previously with a previous partner, and once we went our separate ways, I continued to try going to that church, and it just didn't work out. And at the suggestion of the pastor there at the time, she suggested Dietmar at this church, and I've been here ever since.
Where did you grow up, Randy?
Danville area.
Okay. So you've been a resident of the Valley your whole life?
Yes.
Okay. Did you grow up in the church? Has the church always been a part of your life?
Yes, yes.
Describe growing up in the church and, knowing that you were gay.
Well, I did not make the realization with myself until I was actually out of high school. And even in questioning my sister after my parents had passed, I said, did mom and dad know? And she thought for a bit and she says, no, I don't think so. The partner that I had, she said they just viewed them as like a roommate, a friend, that type of relationship. In church, obviously they saw me with partners in church, and I never got any negative feedback there. And yes, I was a part of that church until I made the decision with my partner at the time to change over to St. John's in Lewisburg.
Was there, you said you didn't come to that realization until after high school. Was there things that you heard from the church or things from the community that made you not realize it, or did you know it about yourself but didn't want to admit it?
I didn't fully see myself that way, if you will. It just never really clicked with me, I guess, until one point in time it's like, okay, your thoughts are different than, and desires are different than what I had presumed they would be.
Did you face any sort of discrimination in the Valley?
Not really. It's so very, very minor, just a few. I know there were a few negative comments voiced at the Halloween parade that we participated in here in town, but that was really all I've heard.
Were you part of the council when the votes came up for the church here?
I'm not 100% sure. I was on previously also for a 3-year term, and I'm not 100% sure if I was on council at that time or not.
Okay, but I mean, I guess as far as the vote goes, as part of the church, you were here as part
Most
of the church.
definitely, yes.
So at that time, what was running through your head when this was all introduced? Grateful, happy about it?
Overwhelmingly and heartfully thankful that this church was considering that. Dietmar had mentioned that the church had tried it at an earlier point in time, and one thing, excuse me, that I think helped the second time around was some people in the church, if you will, the LGBT community was had became part of their family in one fashion or another. And so they were themselves more accepting. And I think that was a part in the high percentage of people that approved us going O&A.
Are you ever afraid to go out in public, go on dates, anything like that? Nervous about it?
No.
And why is that?
Because I had any negative confrontations to that sort in this area. Had that happened, I'm sure I would be, different mindset.
Tell me about the work that you do here at the church then. You proud of what you do? Go ahead.
Absolutely. My work career involved a lot of food service work. Before joining the church, Dietmar's mantra is to find a friend, find someone here, to associate with, and also something to do in the church. And at that time, Loaves and Fishes, I was just another volunteer. And now, almost 6.5 years ago, the person that started that food bank here and held that position for 33 years retired, and I stepped up to the plate because of my food service background. I assumed that others that had been working with that program for much longer than I was would step up, but then in the realization that a lot of people, since we're working during the day, were retired people. That wasn't their thoughts.
Anything else that you think, any other things that are on your mind that you might want to say?
I wholeheartedly love this church. The people that from day one made me feel very comfortable here, and that has only grown exponentially through time. Dietmar is a wonderful pastor in so many ways, including his helpfulness to each and every one of us. I enjoy being able to serve on council and other things because I know I'm fortunate to have an early retirement from my last job, and that's what I want to do, is give back to the community, and that's why I am invested in volunteering as much as I do.